are we doing today? Happy New Year! I am wearing my holiday jammies and I do have a full face of makeup on. That is literally just for the vibes of this video because I really wanted to channel some like sleepover cutie girl vibes. But yes, hello everyone! Happy Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whenever I decide to post this. Hey, what is up? I hope you all are doing well. I'm actually so excited to be sitting down with you all because this is my 2025 rendition of my reflect and reset for the new year video. For those of you who are new viewers or who don't know, I have made this exact same type of video ever since 2021, and the only year that I didn't make it was in 2024. I'm so sorry. But trust, your girl is back to make it for 2025. I do not want to let you guys down. So here I am with my reflect and reset video for the new year. Here you go. Take it. You're welcome. But yeah, on a more serious note, I've honestly had a lot of fun looking back and watching those videos from the past because it's literally so insane how much my life has changed. For example, my first ever reflect and reset video, which was from 2021, I finished my first semester of college. And now in this video, I've literally graduated college, which is just so insane to think about. So I'm honestly like really excited to be making this video for this year. So yeah. Without further ado, let's get into the reflect and reset for 2025. Probably the biggest highlight for 2024 is the fact that I graduated college. I graduated from the University of Maryland College Park with a Bachelor's of Science in Environmental Science and Policy and a concentration in biodiversity and conservation biology. I love mentioning my concentration even though it is probably not the most relevant thing, but me and my concentration, we're like that, okay? But yeah, graduating college is the biggest milestone that I did accomplish in 2024, and also this was like my first time ever experiencing a graduation because for those of you who don't know, I graduated high school in 2020. Honestly, looking back, I wouldn't have it any other way because I really loved my college experience. Not only did I genuinely enjoy learning and my major so much, but I also am just like so beyond proud and happy about the personal growth that I experienced throughout college and the confidence that I built within myself. Also, the community I had for myself in college was just so special, and like looking back on my college years, it's just gonna be a time that I'll cherish forever. With that being said, I felt like it was kind of poetic in a sense to have that like proper grand closing ceremonial experience, if you will, in the form of a college graduation for such a special time of my life. When I was like reflecting back on trying to like list out highlights from the year, my mind honestly went blank. And I think the reason why 2024 has felt like such a blur is because for the longest time, it's always been at like the forefront or something like that I was always going towards, like, oh, 2024 is the year I graduate college. The fact that it's like over now is like insane. And so the post-grad life has been a really confusing time, I do have to be fully honest. And so I think because of that, I don't really have like much else to reflect on, just because, full disclosure, it has felt pretty overwhelming, this like change of pace, this change of life. And I know I'm like talking about it in like a really like upbeat, like, oh my gosh, it's been so jarring and so difficult and blah 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 blah, right? But the reality of it is overwhelming and confusing, you know, and that's okay. I definitely think those heightened emotions I experienced in 2024 have helped influence the mindset shift and resolutions I want to go into 2025 with. Oh my gosh. That is so incredibly awkward. Am I wearing completely different clothes? Yes. And is this a completely different day that I am filming this exact same video? Yes. Long story short, I didn't finish filming this video when I originally intended to film it, and here we are now. But you know what? Let's get into my 2025 New Year's resolutions. So I saw in an Ava Jules video, she was talking about resolutions, and she talked about something that she used to do, which actually resonated with me a lot. She said that what she would do in past years for goal setting and resolutions was that she would have her like word of the year. That would be like one word that all of the resolutions kind of focused around. And that really resonated with me because when it came down to me thinking about the era of my life that I'm in and all of my resolutions, I realized that they all did revolve around one main theme. So my word for 2025 is proactive. The reason why I chose proactive for my word of 2025 is because I've noticed since moving back home, I've kind of fallen into old habits that I had when I was in high school, and I really want to make the active effort to break those habits. But also beyond that, I've noticed that I'm in this very interesting era of my life right now where I can honestly cruise and like nothing will change about my life. And I also want to acknowledge that I do have a lot of privilege with noticing that and also being in this era of my life. Like, I'm very lucky that I have a stable job, and I'm also very lucky that I can live at home with my parents. But something I found to be really unsettling about this is the fact that there are no immediate deadlines or like big milestones. For example, with school, there's the most clear big milestone of like graduation, and then everything you do is kind of time dependent. Or when you have an internship, there's like the set time that the internship is going to end. But right now, I honestly could get away with cruising for like 5 years and there would literally be no consequences, which has been something very unsettling. And I've realized now that to be able to approach those milestones in this new era of my life, I actually have to be proactive about putting myself in the position to achieve said milestones. They don't come with time. There's really no other incentive or no other guiding force that's gonna like lead me to that goal. So with that being said, of proactive being my word of the year, I decided to break up my resolutions into 3 categories. 1 is creative resolutions, 2 is personal resolutions, and 3 is professional resolutions. I thought I would start out listing out all of my creative resolutions for the new year. So for starters, I feel like I have to address the elephant in the room, which is to be consistent with YouTube and be better about posting on this channel. You know what? We have to acknowledge this elephant in the room right here. She's here. She is itching to be noticed right now, and we're gonna give her that validation, and we see her, we hear her. All I can say is, has this been a consistent resolution for myself ever since I started these videos? So these resolutions are as follows. Post more videos on my YouTube channel. I want to grow my YouTube channel. I really want to focus on consistency this year. Yes. Have I achieved the goal yet? No, not yet. This year, instead of setting like some arbitrary goal of, oh, I just want to be more consistent with YouTube, I really want to prioritize being proactive with setting myself up for success. This is going to look like a multitude of things. For example, I really want to focus on making sure that I have multiple videos filmed at the same time and that I'm editing videos at the same time. Another thing is I really want to focus on like making sure that I have a solid game plan for all of the videos that I want to post within the month, and to make sure that I'm constantly planning ahead with video ideas. The mindset I'm really gonna have with being proactive with this goal is just really following that one quote that's like, if you fail to plan, then plan to fail. But to add a quantifiable number to this, I have the general goal of posting at least 24 videos within the year. So that would be like about 2 videos a month. And obviously I would like to post more, but I'm gonna set like that cutie, more demure goal for myself so then I can give myself room to grow. But another thing I did want to kind of highlight is that now that I'm not in school, and even though I do have a pretty exhausting schedule for work, I told myself that there's never going to be the perfect time where I will just magically have all of the time in the world to be devoting to YouTube. It's like I need to be proactive about creating that time for myself. So that is the first big creative resolution that I have for myself. My next creative resolution is I want to continue to crochet, sew, and knit. That has been something that has just brought me so much joy in the year, and I just want to continue to hone in on these hobbies. I have so many projects that are on my bucket list that I want to complete this year, and I've decided to prioritize being proactive with that by starting projects early. For example, I have this one sewing project that I really want to do for Valentine's Day. And so how am I being proactive with this sewing project, you might ask? I already ordered the fabrics now and ordered the pattern for the project in January so that I give myself enough time to sew it so it's ready for Valentine's Day. So those were all of my creative goals for the new year. All right, so now on to my professional resolutions for the new year. Honestly, I think the biggest shock being in this post-grad era of my life. I know I keep mentioning post-grad in this video, but like, to be fair, that has been like the most relevant thing going on with me right now. But something that's been honestly kind of shocking is that there are not really a lot of opportunities to learn as you would in school. Because obviously when you start a new job, yeah, you are learning a lot of things, but once you kind of get the hang of it, you really have to be proactive about learning and continuing to grow professionally. So that is something I really do want to prioritize in the new year, is that I really want to continue to learn and educate myself. So for example, I really want to prioritize taking courses related to different professional skills that I want to gain. Or I also will say I'm really proud of myself for prioritizing networking and setting up like even things like informal interviews. I've done a couple of those and they've been so incredibly insightful and helpful. And also have this segment serve as a reminder for any recent post-grads out there. If you are not the most happy in your current position right now, that's totally fine and that's totally normal. It's totally okay to not be completely satisfied where you're at when you're first starting your career. I feel your pain. I get it. It is hard, but we're gonna get through it and it can only get better from here, right? It can only get better. All right, in the final category of my resolutions are my personal resolutions. These are more so just the things that I want to continue to focus on, especially with my relationships in my life. So the first biggest resolution is I want to become a better texter. So I know I mentioned this earlier, but really it's so true that ever since moving back home, I have fallen into some old habits. One of them being that I have just become such a texter. I'm not the most proud to admit that, but it's true. I don't know why, but like lately I've noticed that when I get more anxious, I like don't want to look at my text messages. I don't want to respond to my text messages. And obviously to a certain extent, I totally understand the validity of needing a break from your phone and sometimes needing like a break from everything. But for myself, I've noticed that anxiety has more so morphed into avoidant behavior. Sometimes I even have the horrible habit of like seeing a text from someone and then formulating my response in my head and then never actually typing it out and sending it. Girl, what the heck is that? And I think it's so much more important now to be better about that because I don't see my friends as often as I used to, and it can be really easy to lose touch with people and let certain relationships fall on the back burner. So I personally want to be really better about maintaining that good, clear line of communication, at least from my end. The final resolution I have for myself is that I want to be better about using my phone calendar to write down literally every single event, because in college I was able to just cruise by not writing events down on my calendar and somehow things were okay. But there were definitely moments where I overbooked myself or forgot about something. Like, it was a tough look. And I'm really trying so hard to break that habit, because I noticed since moving back home, I really fell into that habit and I would feel this like underlying stress and anxiety that I was like potentially missing an event because I just like straight up didn't know what was going on. So I really want to be more proactive this year about literally writing every single thing in my calendar. And I will say this, as someone with like a really exhausting work schedule and like my work days are so long, I've realized that now I'm not the biggest fan of super spontaneous events anymore, and I really prefer to plan things out so much more in advance. But hear me out. When I know so much more in advance about an event coming up, I can like mentally prepare for it, and it just really reduces that stress. So I want to continue to be proactive with that. The word proactive is such like a great foundation for how I want to continue to lead my personal life. So yeah, those were all of my resolutions, and I made them into a lovely vision board because I did this in 2023 where I made my vision board my computer home screen, and I don't know what it was in the air in 2023, but like low-key, I achieved way more resolutions on that vision board than I was expecting. So yeah, I really wanted to carry that same energy into 2025 with my resolutions, and also having a vision board on my computer screen was such a good reminder throughout the year of my original intentions from the beginning of the year. But yeah, that was my reflect and reset for 2025. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had so much fun making it. It's always so fun to like sit down and verbalize my resolutions and say them out loud, say them into the universe. And it's also been so special to see how much I've grown since starting making this video. If you have any resolutions, maybe leave a comment down below. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you liked this video, or if you just like my face, please subscribe. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!